Real quick, message popped up. You need a premium account. We're live.
What?
You need a premium account, so we're not streaming to yours. It's just to the others.
I need a premium account.
Like on X, yeah, you need X premium.
Oh, I know what you mean now. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you.
You're good. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing? Week 2. Let me get my drink of water real fast before I talk everybody's head off for about 30 minutes. All right. If you tuned in last week, up nearly 4.5 units, I think is what it was, which is insane. I think it was roughly just under a unit on last Friday, and then Saturday kicked in and explode like 3.8, something like that. I don't know, something around there. Very good weekend though. Very good show. It was everything went as planned. I mean, yeah, pressure was on, and you know what? We're back and probably gonna have a little bit more people because we promoted it so much that we had so much profit come in. So we're gonna do it again this weekend because we absolutely run Saturdays. So I have nothing on the board for tonight. We're gonna go right into it because there's a lot Saturday. I have nothing on the board tonight. However, tomorrow there's a lot. So I'm going to head over to Rithmm, and I tracked everything on here just to make it simple and make it a little bit easier. So we could swap over. I'm running over here. Okay. So starting from the top, the very first game that I have, I'm just going to go over games that I have first. And then if you guys have questions in between, we can kind of jump into those as well, just because we don't, like I said, not a ton of time today. Starting off from the top though, first game, 12 o'clock, we're getting hot early. Arkansas, Texas A&M, two hot offenses that have been going at it pretty much week in and week out. All right. Arkansas has been on pretty much one of the most wild runs that we've pretty much seen, winning against Kentucky outright, putting up a dogfight just this last weekend against Bama. And I mean, they're right back in this tough spot on the road at A&M. And I kind of wanted to back A&M on the spread here, but I felt safer just backing both offenses with the total because I felt this was a little bit short here. Now, I know it's a caution here, but Rithmm is also saying it's 141 projected, and we have 139.5. I'll give you exact price that I have right now. I have 138.5 for minus 115 on FanDuel right now. That playing that straight up for a unit. I mean, when you guys have like Wade Taylor and I mean John L. Davis and all these guys that are just absolutely flaming hot right now. You know what I mean? Like it's unreal, like how hot Arkansas is and what Texas A&M has been doing on the side of that. There's no reason for me to not just back one specific side when you can just back both offenses with one over. So that's what we're doing. And let me see here and pull up on my phone. Obviously, with A&M, I was winning, I think, like 4 straight and obviously 2 straight covers. They won outright at Mizzou, which was an insane game, again, by Wade Taylor. And again, Arkansas's run has just been unreal as of late. So with that being said, I'm going to take that. And within the totals, I mean, within the last 10, there's been kind of like an unders team from both standpoints. So I feel very comfortable backing a short line there. Second total, Purdue, Wisconsin over 147. Similar situation. I want to back Purdue here so bad. You have no idea. And it's taking everything in me to not do that. But Purdue's offense, similar to A&M's, like I was saying before, similar lines and everything like that. Purdue's offense has been flaming hot. I mean, even when they lost, like at Michigan, tough place to play. Michigan has one of the best defenses in the Big Ten and the country, period. Like they've been amazing. And it's shocking what Dusty May has been doing there. And I know there's been some speculation of him going to IU and stuff like that. But I mean, what he's done there is incredible. But going back to Purdue and everything like that and what they've done, 73 points against Michigan, put up 90 at home. USC put 90 on the road at Iowa, 81 at home over Indiana again. And then when they played Michigan the first time, they put up 91 at home. Now they're at 91 at home again. So as you can pretty much guess, I mean, they've been averaging, I can look up here in terms of what they've been averaging at home. If it loads, let's see, roughly 75 a game. And again, like looking at these recent trends here, not necessarily backing Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin shows up for these kinds of games. If we're being honest, you guys, I mean, Wisconsin, they've been hot as well. I think 2 or 3 straight covers as well, all over 5 points. Their last loss, I think, was against Maryland, outright, and they were dogs in that game, like also by like a 5 or a 6 line. But I mean, they've still been consistently putting up 70, like mid 70s points per game, and I mean, they put up 83 on Nebraska just recently within the last 5 games as well. So again, feeling very comfortable backing both hot offenses here in that spot at 147. And moving on to pretty much the game of the week. Should we do this now? Or should I wait till closer to the end? I feel like I should go ahead and get it out of the way because I'm going to talk about this one. This has been pretty much on my mind ever since it opened on Thursday. I think Thursday evening or whatever it was. But good God, man, I've had such a hard time coming to a conclusion on this stupid game that honest to God, I hate both teams so much. From a betting standpoint and a fan standpoint, I'm not telling you who I'm a fan of, by the way. And especially in the comments, yeah, you know who you are. Yeah, just we're not going to go there. So, with that being said, Bama's a spot, whether you like it or not. And I know that there's going to be incredible value. Anytime that you can get Auburn for like plus like 110 or higher, I mean, dude, you're smashing that all day long. 100%. I don't blame you. But what Bama's offense has been doing with how good their defense has been, it is insanely hard not to just say, yeah, I'm just going to blindly take Auburn for the value that they're at. Like, I just can't do that. Because Auburn clearly becomes vulnerable to teams that can shoot the ball, just like we seen when they played Florida. I mean, they pretty much ran circles around them. I mean, I don't want to say it was a great game. Florida's a great team. We know that. They're where they are for a reason. But there is no reason that line should have been over like 6. Like, there's like minus 11 against Florida at home. I understand you're at home. You're the number 1 team in the country. But there's just no reason for that. And I mean, now, like I said, both offenses incredibly hot. I mean, Bama's coming off like 103 points, I think is what it is. At Texas, I think is what last weekend, I think. Yeah. And then again, winning against Arkansas, getting hooked on the number there. You would think that there's like an overplay in here, to be honest with you. And I'm still looking at that. And I kind of do lean that way for the over, considering that I have several friends models that are looking at that. I have my own Rithmm model that was looking at that. I feel more comfortable backing the home team in a rivalry spot like this any day. So with that being said, I have Alabama money line for minus 118 on FanDuel right now. And then moving on down, the Rithmm didn't have the odds for this one, and I'm just going to say it, but not really much to go over here. Missouri money line, which is minus 110 on FanDuel, I think currently. Line might be moving there. I'm not sure, but I know there's some money coming in on Georgia. Mizzou has been one of the most surprisingly hottest teams as of late. Hold on, we're getting some questions in here. Let's see. The Bama team total. Bama team total, which was I think was the 85.5, I think is what it was, which is ridiculous. I think is what, let me pull it back up here. 86 now. So we're up to 86.5 on DraftKings for minus 120. That's a lot to get behind. Oh God. I mean, I feel like if you like Bama, you almost have to take their team total over. You know what I mean? Because if you're not gonna like that, you might as well just go to the other side. Because I mean, Auburn's right behind them, obviously at 85, and with what, like, again, going back to what they've been doing, last 5 games: 103, 85, 90, 88, 80. They've been hitting that, they've been clearing that, they've been doing that all season. That's not just like a last 5 thing either, like, for everybody that's like wondering. I mean, they have been doing that year in, year out. What scares me is if Auburn's defense just randomly shows up and shuts down the perimeter. And the 2 guys that I'm mainly looking at in that game, depending on team total wise and even just like winning, like making the biggest difference, Grant Nelson. Bottom line. How he does against Mazzara, against Broom. If they can get him the ball and if he can get going, I mean, there should be no way that Bama loses this game. It should be no way. Absolutely none. I mean, you see what they did against Kentucky, how Grant pretty much utilized versus Maury Williams, Brandon Garrison, all those guys like that. People were on Kentucky pretty much that entire day until Grant Nelson came out and had like 18 in the first half. Like, he is a difference maker. I mean, everybody thinks it's Sears. Sears is a phenomenal player. He's a phenomenal shooter. We know that. But Grant Nelson is the guy that pretty much, he's the glue. He's the glue of that team. You know what I mean? So yeah, unfortunately, it's revolving around the dude from North Dakota State to beat the number 1 team in the country, which I'm perfectly fine with. I love Grant Nelson. Dude, the dog. But going back to Missouri money line, as I was saying before, this is me pretty much probably going to be fading the public here massively because I expect a lot of people to be on Georgia. I think Mizzou's like 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 in terms of like winning outright. I mean, they're 15-1 as a favorite. Jake, be quiet, please. I don't want to see. Anyways. Missouri being like 7-3. I mean, like I said, guys, they're hot. Georgia, I can't get behind Georgia again. Like, it feels like after they beat Kentucky, they've kind of just dying stock. Like, I just can't get behind a team like that. However, Missouri with pretty much the same record, that just no. It's a much better offense. They're much better talented on the perimeter. They have a much better defense. They win on size. I'll take Missouri for the value at -110 any day of the week. And I would probably not be surprised if they pretty much wipe the floor with them there. I'm going to get into a Texas-Kentucky play in a little bit. It's right there. Never mind. Hold on. I got a few more to go over before we get there. Oh God. I'm going to get flamed. It's all right though, because I mean, if you win money, who cares? I mean, I'm supposed to be happy either way, wearing my shirt and with a Texas ticket, but I mean, it doesn't always work out that way. Quite frankly, it never works out that way. But unfortunately, that is the next pick on my board, so I guess we might as well hit it. So, yes, Texas money line -118 on DraftKings. Now, one of the main reasons for this play, all right, and obviously, I'm well aware I'm not an unreasonable, delusional Kentucky fan, okay? But I hate those people that wear orange with a passion that is grittier than anybody ever. And I'd like to make it known that I'm going to be boots on ground next Wednesday against Vanderbilt, by the way. So revenge tour for that. That'll be pretty sick. Anyways. Unranked home favorites versus away ranked dogs. 23-13 straight up. That's 56%. And then 12-4 in their last 16. The last team to do that last night, it would have been Nebraska and Maryland, but Maryland obviously won that one. So that kind of, whatever. That's an impressive run. 12-4 last 16. So Texas, I feel comfortable backing Texas here for a good number of -118. In my personal opinion, I think Texas locks down the staggers by switching, and Kentucky, obviously, I think they're going to have a pretty rough day on offense, if I'm being completely honest here. A team total play on the under there might be a good look. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But Johnson should pretty much contain Kentucky's point play, considering they've been without Lamont Butler, which I believe is questionable. I don't know if Jackson Robinson is available yet. Obviously, those guys are key difference makers because it's going to be completely different if you're down to your second string and third string versus having Travis Perry, a true freshman, bring up the ball all game and in his first career start, which is not easy. I know. So I will personally take Texas there. I think there's value there given the injury bloom that's kind of going around right now within our locker room. So not our, you know what I mean? Whatever. I'm a fan. All right. Give me a break. But yeah, it's Texas. Unfortunately, it is Texas though. Next play on the board here. We're going to fly through these. Purdue, Wisconsin over 147.5, which I already went over. Ole Miss -4.5, which I believe, right here. Okay. So I have -4.5 for -110 on FanDuel. I looked at the previous match of this game against Mississippi State, and Mississippi State was favored by like 6 in this game, which kind of threw me, I'm not going to lie, because I kind of forgot about that game. I think I was backing Ole Miss in that one, though, which is kind of funny. But yeah, Ole Miss -4.5. I like them at home. They definitely gave them the fight when they were on the road at Mississippi State, and I just don't think that they're contained even more here, in my opinion. I don't think Mississippi State can do that in a place like this, in an atmosphere like this. It's a rivalry game. Tensions are high. Ole Miss is still trying to make noise. I mean, even though they're ranked, I mean, a rivalry game is a rivalry game. You know what I mean? So I'll gladly take 4.5 points because I know this opened. I think it opened at like 6 or like 6. I'm pretty sure it opened at like 6.5, which at that point could kind of understand leaning Mississippi State here. But even though it's on a caution, I mean, I still think that we can get by with just 2 possessions, to be completely honest with you. So I'll take that chance for -110, which is a pretty really good price, actually. And other than that, let me see. I think that's all the picks that I have. I know I have BYU in here. I've been thinking about this one, and I'm honestly probably holding off with how hot Kansas State has been. I made a note in here on like pretty much where instead of backing a side like BYU or Kansas State, I might go ahead and back a team total in that play. So whatever, pretty much, obviously numbers aren't out for team totals yet, majority of them at least. But a BYU team total over might be a good look, or potential Kansas State team total under could be a fantastic look there. So let me go back to the game and then pull up pretty much some decent reasoning on that. Kansas State, similar to a run like Arkansas's, right? 4 straight wins as a dog, completely outright. Plus, like, what were they against Iowa State? Like 15, 6, like I don't know. It was definitely double digits. I know that for a fact. Arizona State +3, and they were 4.5 dogs when they hosted Kansas just this earlier this week, or last weekend, sorry, and then hosted Arizona as 3.5 dogs there. So 2 consecutive dog wins at home. Now they go to the road, tough travel spot, and all of a sudden BYU's catching 6.5. What? So without being confused and confusing myself, because BYU's also coming off of a dog win outright at West Virginia, I don't feel comfortable backing a spread there anymore, honestly. And I mean, in those spans, I mean, Kansas State was putting up 85, 80, 71, 73, and 81 in that 5-game span right there, versus BYU's, which is like 66, 74, 81, 93, 73. I mean, it's all over the place. You know what I mean? Could back a total there. Could look at the over, which is 146.5. I kind of like that as well. But at the same time, I feel more comfortable fading a Kansas State team that's been red hot on the team total under probably around 69, 68-ish. Might be lower, who knows? But that's probably what I project it to be around. Another wing that I would have is South Carolina, which is in here. I'm probably going to be adding this. I have this at 17.5 right now. But yeah, Florida coming off of obviously pretty much one of the best, probably the best week of their season, I would say. And now all of a sudden with like a 15.5 line, which obviously we know South Carolina is pretty bad. But I mean, Florida closed as dogs against Mississippi State here. So, I mean, if anything, kind of leads me to tell that this is kind of just like a letdown. I mean, South Carolina is pretty much coming off of, I don't even know how many straight losses they have now, but I know it's been rough. All right. It's been terrible. They've been covering though decently. 3-2 in their last 5, but I mean, they've lost all the last 5. And like 4 of those lines, were within single digits. So, I mean, then you look at the contrary to that, plus 11 outright at Auburn, plus 2.5 outright at Mississippi State, minus 10 against Vanderbilt, obviously lost against Tennessee. I feel comfortable backing a 17.5 line because that's just a little bit too big for my liking in an SEC game like this. So that would be my reasoning behind that. And I know it's also recommended by Rithmm here, which projects it by plus 12.5 or plus 12.4, which seems a lot more reasonable in my opinion. That I could see. Another win that I have was Michigan State at Illinois, if we can get high enough on a number. I know right now, I think we're touching 6.5, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if odds are up on here. Okay, they are. We have some cautions here for Illinois, which projects us by 5, which is good news. And then also by 5 there. If it stays at 6, I kind of like the 6, to be honest with you. But Illinois has definitely been one of those teams that have kind of just like, slow. Like for a minute there, we thought they were the top dog in the Big Ten. And lately they really haven't, if we're being honest. So Michigan State coming off of a terrible loss at home against Indiana. I do like them to bounce back here on the road to make some noise before the tournament. Just seems like a perfect time for Izzo to get his guys hot. You know what I mean? If you've watched college basketball, Izzo gets his guys absolutely ready and absolutely dialed before these tournaments start. And they are proven to that every year. More lanes that I have: Oklahoma minus 8.5 or possible team total over here. I know they're playing LSU. LSU pretty much absolute rat piss. Terrible team. Couldn't defend a rock if it was standing still. So with Oklahoma, they don't have odds up here either. Which I know a lot of these lines aren't even open yet, but I know there's some places that do. But yeah, minus 8.5. I have a minus 108 showing on FanDuel right now. If I can get some people to buy into LSU, which I doubt it, but it would be amazing. There'd be a beautiful time to back them here, honestly. I mean, LSU's got 1 cover in the last 5. Oklahoma hasn't covered, period, in their last 3. They've also lost their last 3. In my opinion, I think this is a great bounce back spot. Once again, that's why I mentioned the team total over as well, because in those 3 games, 58 points at Missouri, 52 points versus Tennessee, 70 points at Auburn. Team total, if I do my math correctly here, let's see what we got. Probably looking around 74. Probably looking around 74, 75. I'm willing to take that chance. They have the guys for it. Fears has got the wrist for it. I mean, it's a legalized weapon in about 50 states, man. Like, the guy can ball. I'm willing to take that chance. So I might be adding, honestly, might just go ahead and add minus 8.5 while it's there. And if it drops, then it drops, and I lose out on a bad number. So who cares? But minus 108 is pretty good price given the pretty much the history of these last few games for Oklahoma and how bad LSU has been. Sorry, I'm a little bit stuffy. I'm getting over a little bit of sickness. I know it was pretty worse last week, but it's all right. My last lean of the night, and this will be the last play because we've got to hop out of here. I think I had Ole Miss. Wait, did I have that tracked actually? I did. Yeah, so this one I think is the one that I just added, not into my action yet, but Ole Miss, Mississippi State over 145.5 for minus 110. Total is going up. I see it's up to 146 now. In terms of totals here, as a favorite, Ole Miss hasn't really been very promising to a total. I mean, they're 5-11. Mississippi State is dogs there. I mean, they're 2-1 to the over under. I do look at, like I said again, the last game that they played, which was set at 147. Final score is 80. Like, it was in the 80s for both sides. We can easily hit that again. Like, that's not a reach. You know what I mean? Ole Miss at home, and I'm pretty sure I can go in here just to kind of see their averages at home, because at home, Ole Miss has been a wagon at home, you guys. I mean, it's not a secret. What they did against Kentucky, putting up 50 in the first half, that was a terrible game to watch for me. But I mean, apparently everybody else thought it was great. We go to the totals if it loads here. 77 points per game. That's and then 79 points per game on the road. Oh my God. Yeah, there should be no way that we just don't probably touch the 80s again, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, I will gladly take the 145 there easily any day. It's lower than it was previously. For what reason? We don't even know. We literally don't know why. There's no injury report or anything like that out that I know of, at least. I haven't seen anything. But I mean, that might be like the 2-unit play of the day. You know what I mean? 84. I just looked it up. 84-81 in their last matchup, and that was at Mississippi State. And they haven't really lost their groove since. You know what I mean? Like, they've been hot. 72 points last game, 72 points the game before that, 98 against Kentucky, like I was saying. They gave Auburn a pretty good dogfight, putting up 82, even though they still lost by 10 because Auburn's Auburn. And then obviously winning against Texas there. And then on the contrary to that, obviously Mississippi State kind of coming off of a rough showing when they were favored at home against Florida, only putting up 68 points. Would be a pretty decent time for a bounce back for them, in my opinion, as well. That's the only thing that scares me about Ole Miss minus 4.5, because I know that I kind of had that there, which I'm going to end up doing both of these, to be honest with you. This might be like a 3-unit game for me. I'm not going to lie to you guys, because I know it's jumping up to 146, but if I can find, what's a good price for 146 right now? I still have minus 110 for 146, so should be 156 plus. I'm not even disagreeing there. I think it should be. It absolutely should be higher than what it is right now. And until I find something that pretty much makes me lean the other way to that, I'm gonna stay pretty solid on what I stand on right there. But yeah. So to go briefly over what I am on again for tomorrow, as of now. And if you're not in the Discord, if you're not following my action, which is Cade_locks, LOXX there, I post all my plays. You can get the line, you can get the price there. And then obviously on my Rithmm models as well, which I follow very closely. So starting from the top, Arkansas, Texas A&M over 138.5, Alabama money line, Mizzou money line, Texas money line, Purdue, Wisconsin over 147.5. Ole Miss minus 4.5. Ole Miss, Mississippi State over 145.5. Possible Oklahoma team total over. Possible Kansas State team total under. And then I'm still, like I said, and South Carolina plus 17.5. Obviously still analyzing, looking into Michigan State for that, and then possibly looking into, I still haven't decided if between Oklahoma minus 8.5 and Oklahoma team total over. Kind of just depends where that number's at, to be honest with you. But if I did my math right, those numbers for the team total should be pretty spot on. I hope, at least. But other than that, you guys, tried to be it a little bit quicker rather than keeping you here for an hour. But should be a fun Saturday. Like I said, last weekend we ended up over about 4.5 units. So yeah, I'm pretty much set. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And so other than that, we'll see you next week. Like I said, my DMs are always open on Twitter. It's Cade_locks once again. And you could follow me there, DM me with any questions you got, or I'm always in the Rithmm Discord there as well. So thank you guys for tuning in again. Hope to see you guys cash your bets this weekend. We'll see you next time. Thank you.